Let's bring in my panel, Shadow Environment Minister Senator Jonathan Duniam and National Party Senator from Queensland, Matt Canavan. Well, Matt, I'll start with you. I just took viewers to my old country town of Wycheproof, the backlash against this renewables agenda. The rubber's really hitting the road. They are angry. And I want to say to people, Matt, you know, this doesn't just affect those who live in the regions like you do. This is a massive issue for every Australian.
It is, Peter, and thanks to you to highlighting those concerns of rural and regional Australians. It does affect all Australians because Australians like their farms, they like the Australian bush, they want to protect the Australian bush, and currently a lot of these renewable energy developers are destroying the great Australian bush for no great benefit to the rest of us except higher power prices. And there is hope. The way to defeat this is to do what you're doing. And the new LNP government here in Queensland has just called in multiple numbers of these wind farm projects, including one near where I stand today, the Mount Lighthouse project. And that is because of the campaigning that's been done on the ground by people here in central Queensland. It's the way to make change.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And of course, down in Tasmania, Bob Brown was against a wind farm. You've got issues, green agenda issues down there. The Prime Minister's trying to sit on the fence in the seat of lions over the salmon industry. How much do you think the green issues will be a vote changer at this election, Jono?
Well, Peter, it will be an absolutely central consideration to most people because the green agenda is, frankly, what has made cost of living the problem that it is for most households and businesses. The cost of energy has gone up because of our blind ideological pursuit of green energy and, you know, not to mention the damage it does to our environment, as Matt rightly points out. So this green inner city vote chasing that's going on by Labor, the former party of the worker, is going to cost them votes. But I can assure your viewers there is one set of parties, the Liberal National parties, that are actually listening and going to make sure that that agenda no longer controls what happens in this country.
Company directors in Australia are bracing for the growing backlash against diversity, equity and inclusion programs following President Trump dismantling DEI in the United States. He's already signed an executive order, Matt, also cracking down on gender ideology. He says agencies will cease pretending that men can be women and women can be men when enforcing laws that protect against sex discrimination. Is the coalition, Matt Canavan, prepared to have this fight here in Australia?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, Peter, but I'm certainly prepared to have that fight. I think particularly where the rubber hits the ground. And that's when it comes to the issue of biological men competing as women in sports. It's unfair and in many circumstances it is unsafe. And it's just common sense to allow women to compete against women. The only place where that doesn't seem to make sense is where common sense goes to die, in Canberra. So I certainly, when I get back to Canberra in a couple of months, will be pushing the same agenda that Donald Trump's pursued here. We should have common sense. We should protect our young girls.
He's also banned public servants from working from home. That's gone the way of a stroke of the pen yesterday, Jono. Again, the coalition, are you going to follow suit here?
Well, it's definitely something we should be doing because I tell you what, you know, whether it's in Wycheproof or Burnie, Tasmania or wherever, if you step into reality, they are no way looking at things like work from home arrangements for their employees. So everyone in the real world knows you've got to turn up to work to do your job to make a difference, except in Canberra and perhaps in the public service offices of Sydney, Melbourne and other capitals. So it is something that needs to change. It is a winner with Australians who pay taxes for these people to work at home, and it's something I think we should be pursuing absolutely.
Hey, Matt, Santos scrapping a project, or certainly putting it on hold, I'll be correct, putting it on hold. $3.2 billion development, gas development over in WA. And we've got news now that the Albanese government is going to try and work with a whole lot of Democrat states to get around Trump's Paris bans. What do you make of this?
Well, these jobs that are going to be lost to our country are the direct cause of this government's mismanagement of our resources regulations, their ridiculous crackdown on gas. We saw communist sort of style policies come in to set the price and direct companies what to do. Of course, you're not going to get investment under those circumstances. Santos themselves, as well as other gas companies, have been warning about this for years, that they will take their investments to those parts of the world which want to have them, which want to work with them. And clearly the Trump administration wants to work with the oil and gas industries, and that's why we're seeing Australian jobs, Australian investment go to the US. This is a major challenge. And in terms of the government working with the states, I mean, this is just the wrong approach. The response to what Donald Trump is doing should be to cut our own red tape, to cut our own wasteful government spending, to get our own house in order. Because if we don't do that, we are going to lose many more jobs, many more industries, not just in the resources sector, to a revitalised and vibrant United States, and that will make us all poorer.
Just before we go, Jono, I understand you've got a Maga hat of your own. Tell us more.
Well, I'll tell you what, Maga is a craze that is taking the world by storm, and it's because Anthony Albanese is not too dissimilar to Kamala Harris when it comes to word salads and bad policy and being completely out of touch. And Doug and Ramona Westbrook from the Mole Creek Hotel are willing to sell and send these to anyone who wants to buy them. It says, for those who can't see it, make Albo go away, Maga. So I'm Maga all the way.